Hola, hola, it's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my darling. Okay, so this is a very near and dear episode, if you can call it that, because this is not meant to be an episode of the podcast. And I keep getting so many messages about women asking me my book writing process, how I wrote the book, how I could go to those places in the book, and what it was like for me and who helped me. And my husband Hamish is so incredible. He's just such a great human being, such a good friend. Besides being my lover and my husband and the father of my children, he really liaised with me. He's just got such a great framework brain. And I have to give it up to you, Hamish. I love you, honey. Thank you so much. This is a process, and this is literally, you are a fly on the wall in the last chapter. I remember writing my last 6 chapters in 7 days. I don't recommend it. But basically, each day we wrote a chapter. And the process was, I went to Hamish with what I wrote. We decompressed and broke down and ripped apart and came back. And then we gave it to our editor. And then she edited, came back. And the next day we would reread what she wrote, change it, send it back, and then go on to the next chapter. And literally within 7 days, I had written 6 chapters of the last 6 chapters of my book, because the time crunch was real. And this is a intimate moment. I tell you straight up, with my hand on my heart, on my kids, I never thought I would share this episode or this voice memo. The audio is not great, so don't give me no shit about it. Please don't leave me shitty reviews about how audio is not good. It's not good on purpose, because it was a capture from me and Hamish. We were documenting this process, and I wanted to be able to transcribe what we wrote and what we thought of. So this was not going to come out as a podcast, but in recent days, I've been getting so many messages from you out there who are writing books and who want to write. And maybe this has inspired you, and I'm so grateful. If I in any way have inspired you or moved you in any way, my job is done, and I'm so grateful. So, yeah, enjoy this intimate moment of my husband Hamish and I writing the last chapter of my book, Confidence Feels Like Shit, the truth about confidence and what it really takes to create it. If you have this book and you've read it, then you know what this last chapter was for me and how intimate and amazing and deep it was. So I hope you enjoy this. I love you so much. Okay, so it was June 17th, 2013, my 30th birthday. 7 years after Gio died, I was in having my own rebirth or my own death moment experience. I have a photo of this, and it was basically at a retreat in Bali, Indonesia, when I feel like I just broke. It was like my breaking point. It felt like the shift. Yeah, it was like, it has to happen now. If not, what the fuck? It was like that. It literally was. Breakdown to break through. Yeah, it was literally a breakdown to break through. And it felt like it has to happen here and now. You're in another country. You've spent money you don't have on a credit card to come to a retreat. And here we are at your lowest low. Like, this is either where you waste your life or it all changes. It was like that. It really was. It was that moment. What is that called? Not perturbation, or that moment of like that moment where you go all in. Yeah. What's that called? It's called something. Your moment of like truth, or your It's like your moment of truth. That's what it felt like. And it was like the question or the exercise was, imagine nothing changes and you keep doing what you're doing. That's what it was. It was like, imagine you just read this book, nothing changes. It's another self-help book that's sitting there on the shelf that you bought to hopefully help you become more confident and change your life. But you binged it, you read it, you didn't action shit. And it was just another thing you read, another book you read. Nothing changes. And imagine your life a year, 3 years, 10 years from now, and nothing changes. And it stays exactly how it is now. Yeah, that's what it was. And he said, and maybe you die and you don't become the person who you thought you were going to become. And although it sounds full on and a bit exaggerated at the time, in this retreat, in this safe container that we were in, this exercise was the exercise that gave me my moment of my push, the decision, the enough is enough. It was like the enough is enough. It was like this beast fire. That was when that shit was born, in that moment. If I remember, because I took a photo and I kept that photo forever. It was like it fucking broke me so bad. Like it broke me so, I was crying so hard. Like I wasn't crying loud. It was like that quiet, like, it was like that sobbing, quiet, heart-wrenching, hurting, quiet cry.
The Queen of Confidence. I mean, it was the Queen of Curves to start with, but that's really where she was born.
It's really where the Queen of...
That's really where we went. Because don't forget, we'd used the money for an engagement ring.
Yep.
To go on this Bali retreat. So this was a decision you and me made. We're like, let's just go all in.
That's right.
And then...
So we were already going all in by saying we're not going to...
So we had nothing left. We had said, you can even talk about that story, how you said, I want to go to this retreat for our...
Development.
Development.
We've talked about that.
And I've gone, I've got $8,000, but I was planning on buying you an engagement ring.
And I was like, fuck
and
that.
Like, fuck it, let's just throw all that in.
Fuck that ring.
Because it's a good story to say that we actually used the money that we would have used for an engagement ring and put it on developing ourselves. And that was that, like, look what we bet.
How crazy that was that moment.
Look what we took. We bet on ourselves. We took a bet and we put all in and we bet on ourselves, which is kind of like what we want to tell them. It's like, go all in, bet on you.
Yeah.
So we backed ourselves and look what came out of that. I mean, it was another 7 years later, but here we are 7 years later, 7 years from the point where you had your first breakdown.
My real breakdown.
So you had a breakdown 7 years ago, a breakthrough 7 years ago, and now we're writing the book 7 years later about that time. And we bet on ourselves.
Yeah. And we ended up getting engaged secretly there.
And we got engaged
so we got what we wanted anyway.
Yeah. And then there's another story in there about,
It's for another book, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's a good story. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one, mama.
The guy goes, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Or like, Nava, you want some toast? Sure.
Some what?
Sure. He goes, sure.
For what? Do you want some?
Do you want some toast? Toast, sure.
Sure.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Okay, so...
I have some. I have one.
Thank you, Dada.
I think I have one.
So, okay, so that's the one. So that's the story. So we did that, and I'll talk about the exercise in letter number 1. I was writing
there to say, look, this was
yeah,
done.
This was done
safely in a sacred space, being held by
mentors and trained people.
So it wasn't like
you
go do this exercise alone. Yeah. This was like something that I did.
So be conscious, but I wrote it as the person I loved the most at the time that would mean the most to me, not like you, because you were doing it as well. You were with me.
Yeah.
So I wrote it as my mother, even though I don't have that weird connection. So crazy.
The chapter with that, like you said, that letter, dear Mum. I'm sorry.
I know, but that's what I mean.
But
I think
you could explain the rest.
No, I know, but that could already trigger. I think if you're going to do that, you have to I think what we're doing, and then the letter comes in, because they're now invested in reading that letter. You know what I mean? Versus hitting them with a letter, dear Mom, like, oh, fuck, is this a suicide letter? I don't want to do that. That's fucked up. But, it would be cool if it was to us. Dear Mama. Anyway, so we do that whole story that we just talked about for 6 minutes, and then we do that, this is the moment that broke me. It was something like this. My daughter Erica she was this, she was that, she could have done this, she wanted to do that. And unfortunately, she didn't do it. She really doubted herself.
She had all the potential.
She had all the potential. She was a great kid. She was a very creative, all this shit. But she just didn't.
Her doubt in herself.
Yeah, she doubted herself. She didn't go for it. Lack of confidence, all that bullshit, right? And then be like, my paper was filled with water. Like literally my paper, when I finished writing that, as I was writing it was hard to write.
I got the end of the book.
Yes.
Is the other story. That's how you finish.
Yes.
So this was my...
And then what do you want to choose?
It's almost like your...
And then it goes... Then
Dear
I...
Mama,
hold on.
I did this. I did this.
So then I did all that shit, like the bad one. And then I go, when I came out of that, like liquid coming out of my eyeballs, I was fucked. It was horrible. It was gut-wrenching. We had a break. I didn't speak to anyone on the break. I didn't even speak to Hamish. I was in such a fucked up, dark place. And they left us there purposefully for a few hours or an hour, let's say, to come back, only to come back and give us an opportunity
to change,
like you may have right now, an opportunity to change the story and not just write bullshit on paper, but to feel it, to see it, to visualize it, to make it a reality, so that a commitment to yourself, so that when you leave here, and when you leave Bali, when you finish this book, you have a fucking action plan that you've committed not to anyone else but your fucking self.
Yeah.
To yourself. To hold yourself accountable. And if you don't get it, it's your fucking life that you don't get to create. And that's fucking painful. Yeah. It's painful enough. So, I got a second chance. Or, so maybe blah, blah, blah. And here's the story.
This is how it goes.
This is how the story goes.
What I chose.
Yeah, this is a story that I chose.
And then you can go.
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
Yeah.
Or my daughter.
Mommy.
My daughter did it.
Yeah.
She made it. She became an author.
Erica was this. Erica was that. Erica did this. Erica met with Oprah. Let me just call it in. Do you know in my TED Talk? But in my TED Talk example, she wrote if I, and I went through the whole thing and went when I. Like I changed it, and I was like, I am not printing a book that says if anything. Fuck that. Exactly. When and I can talk about this later after the book. Yeah. Like when so I
call it in on the last
call it in
page.
now. Call it in now.
She did this. She did this. She did this.
What a fucking, what a brave thing.
This fucking bitch is repeating, right? It's also brave. A thing for you to go,
how fucking
I'm also saying I'm doing this.
What a way to change my book. And at the bottom, at the back, I can say, in case you didn't realize, like, or say that, like, that last page is for me. Because those are all the things I want. And what a better fucking place than to tell you what I want, to make that shit a reality. Fuck. And then, when we finish that letter, this is a great voicemail, I'm going to keep this forever. When we finish that letter, what do we say at that? Like when we finish, so what's something? You know, like it's over to you. What's your?
I think just write that for now.
Yeah.
I think get to that stage and then see
what comes.
Then the end will present itself.
And that's just the letter part. Yeah. Is there other stuff before that? There was.
I mean, you can. You're gonna tie it in. I mean,
yeah, from the beginning, like now you know this, now you know this, now you know this. Or do I do that in the beginning, like blah 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 blah, and then go story?
Yep.
That's it. So I'll do the little tie-in at the beginning.
Yep.
Then I go.
Yep.
My broken whatever.
Yep.
That a moment of truth. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Amazing. My love, before you go, I really want to share this incredible opportunity with you, because if you're loving this podcast, then you will most likely love working with me for the next 12 months in the sisterhood. It's my year-long coaching experience, and I have really good news because we have shifted and changed the pricing. There is a new offer for 2021 because I know how many people struggled in 2020 financially, and I also know how much shit came up for us that we all need to be working on. So, year-long coaching program, The Sisterhood, with me. You can join in person if you live in Melbourne, or you want to fly to Melbourne 6 times a year, or you can join online where I coach live for the 12 months. You have me as your coach. You can hit me with any problems or questions you have. We coach live for 2 hours a month. It is next level shit. The community is incredible. If you want to learn more, head to my website, thequeenofconfidence.com/sisterhood, SISTA, sisterhood. I can't wait to welcome you. Thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your ears, your time, your energy, and your attention. Please do me a favor and head over to Apple iTunes, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, share this episode with a sister who you know needs to hear it. And if you feel called to, leave me a review. I'd love to know what you think about the podcast. I'd love to know how this information is helping you change your world. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there are many podcasts you could listen to, and I really appreciate you listening to mine. Have a gorgeous week, honey.